Going live. Hehehehe, arigatou gozaimasu. Hehehehe. Now we're gonna do. Welcome to the second part of the evening. Second part of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second part of the evening. You have to have at least 2 parts, otherwise, who are you? Seriously. Seriously. Who are you if you're not hosting an evening with 2 parts? I'll tell you who you are not. Somebody worth paying attention to. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. How are you guys all doing today? Are things working in your life the way you intended to? Or moshikashite, are you possibly like me, all over the place? Well, agreeing to be all over the place is the first step to liking your own life, I think. But who am I to know? As always, I'm reminding you that it's easier and more fun to watch this stream on YouTube than on here, than on Instagram, because Instagram is just not as good for live, right? On your phone. But if you join me on your computer, then you can kind of like have fun on your computer and chill with me instead of, just a couple of seconds on your phone and fucking off. That's not something that we want. We want you here for, for a long-term engagement, if you will. Yes. Long-term stuff. See, I put down a little line here to get the perspective. That can be helpful at times. If you're interested in nerdy drawing tips like that, then I got that little thingy for you. I got that little thingy for you. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. What is that knee? I don't even know what I'm doing. We're figuring it out as we go along, ladies and gentlemen. And we're figuring it out, bro. We're figuring it out.そうおじさん。今日はおじさんのおじさんのなんだろう。Some kind of a おじさん。Nice. If you draw the socks, then that's a very good for the perspective here, It's a very good indicator of where some things should go. And then obviously it can't be waru-san without the famous sneakers. Very important, I feel like. Here, I'll center him for you. So this is actually interesting because like feet from this angle can be kind of annoying, but if you think about the rectangle that they occupy on the ground, and you can kind of like draw the sole, then you can really understand what they look like. And then you can add sort of like you can extrude upwards. Extrude. What the fuck? The fucking loma minchi. Can extrude upwards like that. Something like that anyway. And yeah. Okay, and the whole reason for this beautiful muscular dude is to try to design a suit that would be cool. And I want to try various designs today, so let's get to it. I have myself a reference here that I opened up. Seems like there are a bunch of interesting looking details that I can kind of what is the image below? So yeah. It's reference. I am going to try to pick up on some of these details and see if I can use them to design an interesting suit. It's not my strong suit, but I'm gonna try. I see that part, and sort of like the hollow whatever frame is interesting to me. So I'm thinking maybe maybe I'll add something like that on the front here, almost like a grill. Again, I don't really know if it makes sense. No problem. Hi, arigatou gozaimasu. I don't know if it makes sense. We're just testing a bunch of design ideas. Maybe it will be cool. Maybe it will really suck. It looks like sunglasses at this point. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's think about this differently. Designing in front of a bunch of people is, I guess, more stressful than I thought. But, all right. Let's see here. Where's my stuff? Where's my reference? Okay. Let's try like a Iron Man type thing in the middle. That's always a good start. This is where I think about like how do we make these pieces not constrain his movement? And obviously it doesn't have to be super realistic, but everybody likes things that make sense. This is where I'm looking at the reference and I'm finding like, oh, sometimes you have little bumps like that. And that gives you like some interesting detail. And it doesn't have to be completely symmetrical. Like we can have two on one side, one on the other. Sometimes there's a reason for that. For example, maybe we have, something that pops out like this here. I think it always, if you kind of like try to work with try to really stylize the anatomy that you already know. So I hate this, right? Flow is not flowing today. Right, like here I'm thinking of the bicep, and then I'm thinking of the brachialis. Hi, Nyang Cat. What's up? I'm thinking of the bicep, and then I'm thinking of the brachialis, and just exaggerating these and turning them into, like mechanical parts, whatever. I'm good. Kind of tired. It's late for me. How you doing? Yeah, it's Polarius cats. Is that it? Polarius. Yeah, and copying whatever you do to the other side. That's like part of the game here. I think this whole thing goes upward. Yep. Some dude from work is calling me at 8:20 in the evening. No, no, sir. No, sir. I'm not answering. No calls, no work calls this hour. Some people are crazy. Crazy, I tell you. Okay, so I'm trying to pick up on again things that I can use for the suit based on the reference, but the screen is black. Is it still black? Where are you from? Israel. Isn't perspective difficult to draw? Well, it is. It absolutely is. It is until it isn't. You know what I mean? It is until it isn't. The screen is black. archive. And armor. Armor is super difficult. I guess, it's always about if you have experience with something, if you've drawn something many, many times, then it gets easy. But if you haven't, then it's a bitch, simply put. But as you can see, we're taking it step by step. Designing, experimenting. This should be fun, so you should have fun. You shouldn't, try to master it before you know that you can, right? Also, sometimes you can first I need to draw basic figures to draw complicated figures. Basically, yes. If you can start from basically, well, you build on a foundation, right? So if you can draw something like that, you're one step closer to making it round. Right? So yeah. Honestly, I think the best advice is that you have to keep at it and keep being very curious. You just have to stay very curious and constantly try to solve new problems. If you can do that, then you will always evolve. I see people they're looking for a certain book or a certain technique, and the reality of the situation is you have to be constantly trying to figure it out on your own. So you have to constantly try to constantly ask yourself, okay, what's my next milestone? How do I try to achieve that? And then try it and then fail at it. And then, that type of curiosity is what ultimately helps you get better. What if we replaced his whole legs here? Nah. Screen is black. Nick-chan. What's my favorite artist in terms of color? I'll be honest, I'm not very much into color. I really don't know much about color. But I do like simple stuff. I like Mignola. You know, I like very graphic stuff. I think is very appealing to me. So this is something that I'm taking from the reference, like I'm looking at that part here. And that is interesting to me. I still want to do something like no, but it's just not good. what if I try to do it here? I have this is an iPad Air M3. It's good enough for me. Thank you, Panic Cake. Now I'm trying to find out how to approach the legs here. Maybe there's some type of exoskeleton. This is very important, so I look at that and I'm like way off my mark here, right? This should be way up here. For example. This specifically is not the exoskeleton in the comic. What I'm trying to do here is, so right now we're very early in the comic. So Wadu, this character, he is still naked all the time. But he's not going to stay naked forever. And I'm trying to design a kind of a suit for him. This is actually way too detailed, so I'm just having fun right now. But I'm sort of like exploring ideas for what would eventually be his outfit. I work as my job is art direction, but in a different field, in tech. So I do art direction for tech brands, stuff like that. You always read my comic? Thank you so much. And yeah, it's a shame that he will not be naked for the rest of the story, but I will make sure to keep showing lots of muscle. I'm trying to think of a suit design that would maybe enhance the way he interacts with the exoskeleton. with the exobexo. You think my character is annoying? Yeah, it's true. He is pretty fucking annoying, isn't he? But like, that's the point, right? Like, if you think about Naruto, Naruto's fucking annoying, super annoying character. I liked him, but I hated him. And it's one of my favorite shows. Thank you, Tajoshi. Neko-chan! Neko-chan, 最近どう？猫たちはどうすか？あ、かわいいだよね。Exploring ideas takes a lot of time, and drawing them takes even more. Yep. Absolutely. I think so. Yes, I watched the first season of Frieren, actually with Neko-chan. We watched it together when I was in Japan a few months ago. Hi, hi, Frieren da. Frieren. Yeah, but this is if you just want to practice and find out what you like to experiment and find out how you want to draw things, and it's a great way to draw like a base body, and then just try to dress it up with whatever crazy shapes you can imagine. Highly recommended. I think I'm a bit stuck here because I'm kind of tired at this point. I might have to call it. Might have to call it. Hello, hello, Barcelona. I have a very good friend of mine lives in Barcelona. I think I spent too long on the other one. Now I'm trying to really think about that reference. Really think about it. Even though, as you can see, I'm messing it up. messing it up. Yeah, I'm looking at the reference and I see like there's this layering of shapes that makes it very appealing. I don't have a lot of experience with something like that, but I'm trying. Like it's the layering that makes it or breaks it at this point. But you can see how I've gotten a bit more chill as I'm easing into this session. And adding more and more detail. All right, guys, it's almost an hour. In Tel Aviv, are there good art academies, academics? I'm not sure, actually. You have Bezalel, which I think is pretty well regarded. Not Bezalel, I'm sorry. Shit, I forget its name. Bezalel is in Jerusalem. It's pretty well regarded. And there is also, what's Shenkal? Shenkal is also pretty well regarded. I think some famous people, famous designers came out of there. It was an interesting shape, I feel like. But it's much, much too detailed to be functional. Especially in the comic. Could Wadu wear the suit in the comic one day? I think especially for the comic, the suit is way too detailed. So here's the thing. If I had to like then go and redesign the suit for the comic, we would have to, take this design and really tone down the details. So maybe take that and, find out like what the silhouette is looking like. And so maybe there would be like a piece like that connects to a piece like this. And I would ignore a lot of the details because it's just not feasible. Like I know that some people can make like really, really detailed mangas, but I don't have I get too tired too quickly. But you can see that if we take like the silhouette now, then we're starting to have a design that reads as uniquely its own thing. Right? And I think once we have something like that, then we can start thinking about, utilizing it in a comic. Otherwise, for me personally, it's just too difficult. かわいいっすか? そして、who is this? I don't know. Yeah, anyway. It's interesting to put different characters in the suit. Like, hey asshole, what do you think you're doing here? God damn. What do you want? Anyways, guys, thank you for joining yet another. Oh, can I draw fear in the impossible face angle? I think I can. I can try. Let me try. So I think this is the angle, right? Something like that. If I'm not mistaken. And then I just need a reference of what she looks like because I don't remember the design. And now I'm gonna try to draw it. I'm just not very good at drawing anime faces. I'm not even really sure how you do that, but hair is something like that. She has ears like this, right? Something like that, right? Is that it? Is that it? Did I get it? Ja, ja. Guys, thank you. Thank you very much. As always, thank you. Guys, have a beautiful night.